Well, hello, 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 everyone. We are live, and I am so thrilled that everybody is popping in to join us tonight. Happy Thursday. I'm here with the amazing Dr. Michael Gross. So I'll give you a minute to say hello, Michael.
Greetings, salutations, and felicitations. How is everybody?
We have a powerful uh, podcast tonight. And what I'd like to do quickly is introduce Michael because we only do this for about 30 minutes or so. So we appreciate everybody popping on. We appreciate your time, and I'll get right to Michael's introduction, okay? Dr. Michael Gross is a professional keynote speaker, energy transformational coach, entrepreneur, and the author of the Spiritual Primer. A must read. If you haven't read it yet, you must read it. Um, the Spiritual Primer is applying God's 12 transformational laws to reawaken your soul by reconnecting to God, the true source, to experience your true source's love, joy, and happiness. We all want some more love, joy, and happiness in our crazy world right now, right?
You sure do.
Okay. Um, he helps you to achieve your unlimited life. Can you imagine living that life? For over 30 years, Dr. Michael has been a spiritual teacher, a multidimensional healer, a transformational coach who is exceptionally skilled in all aspects of soul, oversoul, vibrations, frequencies, body timing, life force energies, and oh, so much more. Dr. Michael Gross holds many different degrees, including a doctorate of alternative healing psychology, Reiki master teacher, thought field therapist, certified professional hypnotherapist, and he's also, get this, a non-denominational minister. So if you ever have a need, definitely connect with Michael. He offers workshops in which include reconnecting to God, the true source, cellular release, manifestation protocols, energy multidimensional healing, enlightenment, and many, many other things. Michael's also an international intuitive consultant for corporations, and he's traveled over half the world. I can only imagine the stories that you can share, Michael. He's got clients in USA, Australia, New Zealand, South America, Asia, and other countries. And I'm thrilled that he's now having his messages heard also in the Baltic countries and Sweden and South Korea. Michael has also recently, it's been a little while now, completed a 501c3 with a nonprofit. So if we have time, Michael, at the end of this, please mention a little bit about more about your nonprofit, okay?
Sure.
For now, I'm thrilled to welcome your incredible soul to the Charlotte podcast tonight. And I'm going to go ahead and mute my mic. I'm going to put his contact information in the comments, so please take it. And I will go ahead and turn it all over to you, Michael. Bless you for being here. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. I thought it'd be an interesting thing to talk about this evening, the purposes of reincarnation. And that's so important. I know a lot of different religiosities don't believe in reincarnation, but there's proof now that it's irrevocable that we all incarnate at one time or another. Although there's some souls that could be the first time to reincarnate. And when you reincarnate, of course, and you decide to do that, and they spike your drink enough to get you to do that, then you're saying, well, this is an experience, and what if I create karma? Yep, you will. And do I have to come back? Mm-hmm. And what does that mean? So karma is nothing but an experience. Yes, there is a way to heal the karma in this lifetime, although it's not being taught, or many souls think they know how to do it, but they really don't. But I'm going to leave it at that point. What I really desire to speak to all of you about is that everyone has a mission and goal in life, and that's one of the reasons you incarnate. And you've heard me talk about family, friends, relatives, relationships, and so on and so forth. But also, there's another reason, of course, and that is the reason that you're here to do something special. Everyone's here to do something special, whether it be on a global level, universal level, or on a personal level. And, we would like to all think it's on a global level, but it isn't. But just because it's not on a global level for everyone doesn't mean that it's not important. It's all equally important. And that's so important for us to understand. True source said, whether you save one life or a million lives, one is the same as saving millions. And how can you save a life? Well, of course, a doctor, a lawyer, but you can also save them from, and I'm not talking religiously, but I'm talking about saving them from going into the dark hole, or as T would say, the rabbit hole. So really stop them from doing all that stuff. To realize that they're here for a purpose, and the purpose is to learn, to grow, and do their mission and goals. And there are very many people say, well, what if I don't do my mission and goals? What if I don't do all my karma? No big deal. You get the round trip ticket. That means you get to come back sooner or later, and you got to finish whatever you didn't finish. Or if you do a part of your karma in this lifetime, you'd have to come back and do another part, and you broke it up. But as humans, we have a tendency to go, I want to do it all at once. You guides and angels and so no, 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 it's too difficult. Oh, I can do it. It's a piece of cake. No, 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 no. But you finally have the last say. Therefore, we look at some beautiful souls like, wow, did I pick a hard time? Did I pick all these things? You don't know it, but towards the end of your life, you go, what the heck did I do to choose all this stuff? And, coming back a few lifetimes or whatever it may be, it's really no big deal. Now, you think you live to 100, 110, 90, 80, it's a long time. But on a spiritual plane, beep, that's how long 80 years are. It's milliseconds because there's no such thing as time. And what's flashing before us and around us in our memory, our soul memory, past, present, and what we desire to do or may do in the future. So all these things are happening simultaneously. You go, wow, this is overwhelming. No, it isn't, because, you're reviewing the past, the present, the incarnation. You'll kind of look at what you've learned. You're living in love presently, and you're planning to do whatever you desire to do in the future. That's so beautiful and interesting. And what's really fascinating is we have 3 times in our lifetime which we can birth out. However, you can birth out easily, first or second chance if you so desire, at different ages. But if you don't complete it, you got to come back fairly quickly. And I'm not talking in months, hours, or years, but fairly quickly when you're ready to complete whatever you haven't done. And I know some people say, well, my dog died or cat died. Will they come back and reincarnate and be in my life? That is a possibility, but it is rare. But I've had friends where that's happened. And then we talk about human beings, if they birth out, when they come back in our life. The possibilities, I break things in probabilities and possibilities. Probabilities are more, let's say, quickly to happen, more definite, not 100%. Possibilities are random. So if we understand about the probabilities, is that it is rare for a soul to reincarnate in your family. So let's say your mother or father died or a child died or whatever, and the soul birthed out. Well, they're going to come back in my life. Very, 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 very rarely. I would not count on it. And that's so important for us to realize. Yes, Tio, you wanted to bring something up.
Yeah, I have a couple of questions if you don't mind me putting them
Sure.
out there for you. Okay. There's one here. Hold on a sec. Okay. Krista asks, when you birth out as a young child or a baby, does that mean that you're done reincarnating here because you didn't have much karma to pay back? And the second part of that is also, is it possible to ask and pray for a soul to reincarnate so you can be in this life again together? Or should you just be happy that they don't have to come back here? Do people ever die by accident, or is it always planned and there are no accidents? And I also have someone else who asked a question, but I'll let you answer that one first.
Well, it's a good question. We have no right to interfere with the soul of whatever their soul's purpose. In this lifetime, T is my friend. I have children and grandchildren and so on and so forth. But in the next lifetime, if I choose to incarnate and they spike my drink triple, then they may be in my life, but they may be a friend or at a distance, or they may be in China or, Australia or wherever it could be. It is very, very rare. It does happen, but it's that soul's choice, not your choice. And when we ask for them to do it, we're laying a guilt trip on them. We're stopping their growth and stopping whatever they came here to learn. And they love you and honor you for whenever they birth out, for helping them complete their mission. And their guides are working with them. So therefore, if you want them to come back, let them make their own decision. Don't even ask. They know your thoughts, by the way. When you have a family member and someone births out, whoever the person is or whatever age, they hear your thoughts. They know your pain. They understand it. And they tell you back that, no, I'm happy, I'm joyous, but you're not listening because you want to hear, I am fine, Mom, everything's good. That's what you want to hear. But you'll have feelings of joy and happiness. And if you're having a remorse and guilt, then you shouldn't be remorseful or guiltful. That's the path that that child or that adult chose to take. Whatever it is, they chose it. And you are the agreed recipient to go along with them. You know, Shakespeare was a very spiritual man, and one of his quotes was, we have had many exits and many entrances. Well, if we understand exits and entrances, in other words, we birth out, we birth in, we birth out. Could be this solar system, another solar system, or that soul could become a guardian angel, or could become an angel, or could become a guide or master guide. So we have no right to really influence them. And really, that's laying a guilt trip, and that's karma for that person. Therefore, if you're just saying whatever is right action, if not in this lifetime, perhaps in another lifetime we'll meet. And you're going to say, well, how do I know that? Well, you might not know that, but you'll feel close to that person. You'll feel a commonality with them. You'll actually feel love and joy and happiness. That's how you know you've been with them in a past life. Could have been a relative, could have been a sibling, or something along those lines. That's how you know. Therefore, if you decide to have another child or whatever, just know you've made an agreement to have another child, you're going to get pregnant, and that child will be very grateful and loving. I hope that answers the question.
That does, I think. I'll wait for her to answer. Do, so everybody, let me ask this. So do people ever birth out? Does the soul ever birth out by accident, or are they always planned, and that there are no accidents when someone births out?
So the question is very good, but I want to back up track. Some of you may have heard the time when I was in Florida, and Patrick Snow, give him a plus. He's an excellent book coach and motivational speaker. And there was a couple that their daughter had been murdered, and they couldn't find the daughter. And for 8 years, they couldn't sleep. They kept praying. They were angry. And finally, I came over, and they asked me if I could do anything. And I spoke to her soul. And so, in talking to her soul, you know, she said she's fine and she loves them and she cares for them. And she's just being around them because they're in such pain. And they had enough evidence that I was channeling the information. And finally, I said, you know, you got to let go because she cannot move on. You're blocking her, although you're not doing it intentionally. Out of compassion and love, she won't move on. So they said, okay. They blessed her and released her after 8 years. And what happened was, they said the next day, the first night's sleep they ever had, they felt peaceful joy and happiness in their heart. That's one of the examples. So we really got to think twice when we do those things because we're selfish. And you probably want, why would I be selfish? Well, remember, in the beginning, as they often said, your children are alone. You know, they grow up, they get married, they move to another area, and so on and so forth. So right action says bless them, thank them, and let them move forward. And if you desire to have more children, whether to adopt or biologically have children or whatever, they're going to be the perfect soul for you. And they will enhance your life because that's part of their mission and goal to help you. I hope that answers the question.
That's perfect. So here's another question. Chelsea asks this one, okay? Do you think people get taken from us or unimaginable things happen to us because of karma from our past? Or do you believe it's already written in our soul contract, the story of how our lives pan out? And there's another part to that.
Well, I want to hold off on that because I didn't answer the other question that some souls birth out by accident. That does occur, but it's not really an accident. What happens is they agree, I'm done, I'm finished, I'll leave. So the accident will be an excuse or a reason for them to leave. And they will manifest that accident because that's their excuse to leave. So you would say, well, why don't they just leave, go to sleep, and their heart stops or whatever? Or tell their family, well, I'm leaving everybody, goodbye. No, you can't leave us. The guilt trip is laid on. So that's one of the reasons. The other reason is they may have to experience some kind of pain of having an accident because they did that to someone else. So there's 1,001 different reasons, and we just have to honor that. Either an accident appears to be an accident, but really there's no accidents. Some souls will say, I'm supposed to live to 97, but I'm going to sacrifice myself so the human race can realize what's happened. And that happened a lot of times during the time of war or pandemics or illnesses or whatever. To bring to attention, we need to change. They're the real heroes. Now, would you repeat that question again?
Absolutely. There's a there's a couple here, so I hope I don't overload you. Okay. Um, do you think people get taken from us or unimaginable things happen to us because of karma from our past? And the other part of that is, or do you believe it's already written in our soul contract that the story of how our lives pan out?
It's written in your contract. That's exactly what it is. That you chose to experience these different things. And for whatever reason, you know, when you're living in this energy of bliss and love, there's no pain, no anger, no frustration, nothing. You're just happy. You're bouncing around, figuratively speaking, and you're making changes in the universe, on the spiritual plane, helping souls to accomplish different things. A beautiful thing. However, due to religiosity, we're not taught that. We're not taught to understand that. We're kept and locked in a little prison, and that prison is laid with guilt, 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 and guilt. Well, guilt is a created by the human race. There is no guilt. Look at it this way. You mess up. You learn what worked and didn't work. You shouldn't feel guilty because you learned something. Now that doesn't give you license to do it over again or license to hurt people. Just understand what you've done is you chose this experience. And if someone got hurt, then you understand what their pain is. Pain's not guilt. The pain is you're feeling their emotion. You may call it guilt, but it truly isn't. But it's similar.
Okay. So here's the other part of that from Chelsea. Another question. Okay, Michael. Thank you so much for explaining this too, because I love the fact that if we have time, you can tell everybody how we had a past life together. And that was so cool too. But, but we'll go to Chelsea's other question first, okay? She was told that her son who passed away will incarnate in her lifetime. This person shared with her that he may be male or female, and they will cross paths, and when they do, they will know it right away. But here's the question. I guess what I need to know is if this is true, will part of his soul stay where he is now so when it's the end of my time, we can be together again?
Well, it's a good question. When you birth out of your body, and I'll reiterate this again, you have a life review, and everybody brought joy, you feel hundredfold. Everybody brought pain, you feel hundredfold. No judgment. Just you learn something. That's all you learn. It's as simple like don't touch the hot pot. You burn your finger. You go, oh, that's what hot is. It's not a punishment. You don't die. and you just move on. Then you go to a rare area we call, or a dimension, which is really a level where there's R&R. You'll become acclimated back into your soul body. And then that next one is you go to the level of spirituality that either you left or something you've learned and move up the ladder. Then you might decide to be a guide, master guide, an angel, as I said, or guardian angel. Sometimes we want to come back more quickly. And we choose another host, another family, to come back. Whatever we were supposed to learn from the current family that we were incarnated in, we've learned, they've done their job, and they move on. You have what we call a soul, oversoul, and let's say a soul in your body. So the master soul is part of the true source. A little piece of that breaks off, still connected. We're going to talk about our languaging like transparent wires, which is not in existence, but it's a metaphor. And a part of that oversoul, because the vibration is so high, breaks a part of that off and comes into the human body. So what is happening is the human body, you're experiencing all these things. Your soul is relating it to the oversoul, which is then relating it to the soul, the master soul called the true source. And if we understand that, that really means that vicariously, everything that we're experiencing, the true source is experiencing. And we have to understand, set aside religiosity. Everything's an experience. There's no hell, no hate, no punishment. Karma is not a punishment. So when I screw up, true source goes, yes, Michael learned something new. That's really empowering. Here I am, egg on my face, screaming, yelling, and it's like I learned something new. Well, how are you going to learn new things? Some people by observing, some people by reading, but most people by experience. And that's an overwhelming 70-80% of the people by experience. That's how you learn. And that's not a punishment. Understanding that, sometimes we didn't complete our mission and goal. We go back and said, look, we want to come back quickly. So they do find a hosting soul, try to talk you into healing more. No, 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 no. And you choose to come back, you choose another family. Could be a family living in Sweden or Estonia or Spain or Portugal or Brazil or Ecuador or wherever, or Alaska. Because whatever you're supposed to gain from that family you have, and they bless you and they help you to move on onto another level. And you may run into them. You may not. And if you do, they'll feel a camaraderie. And you may feel that they were in your life a brother or sister or whatever. However, don't live your life just because is that the person? Is that the person? Is that the person? Do I have to go to Spain? Do I have to go here? It'll drive you nuts. If you're meant to meet, you will meet. And if that intuitive said so, then you and your soul will arrange the perfect time for you to meet. You have another question?
Perfect. At the moment, no. So thank you so much for allowing me to ask these questions with you. And I know that we're looking at the clock, and I mean, oh my goodness, the time has already gone by quickly. But can we share a little bit about how we connected, how we know that we had a life together before?
Yes. I can only speak for myself, and Tia can speak for her experience. But many times I feel close to souls, and they go, "Where do I know you? Where do I know you?" And I won't answer them, and they bug me. Then I said, "Well, you're my brother, you're my sister, you're my wife. You were this, you were that, or best friend, or cousin, or uncle, or aunt." And Tia was asking, and I enough times, and I realized that she was my sister in a past life. But I'll turn it over to you to have you share the experience.
Okay, Michael. We were. I've always felt really close to Michael, and I wasn't sure why, but I've always craved and yearned and thought that I had to have a brother somewhere. And what we found out after we talked and we connected a little early. I've known Michael now for about a little over 4 years, and what we realized was that we were twins. Our mother was in, it was Mesopotamia, right, Michael? Our mother gave birth to us, and he's my big brother. And there's a joke there, okay? I'm going to let you share that joke, Michael.
Yeah, well, anyway, what she did was she kicked me out first for me to check it out to see if it was okay. Remember that cereal? Mikey likes it? Oh, that's what she did.
And the beauty with meditation is I did see our mother once in that past life. I saw her, and she was absolutely beautiful. Go ahead, Michael. I know you're getting tempted to say this.
When she said that, I said, I know, I look like her. So that's our little joke. But yes, she was a beautiful woman, and we're honored. And she and I agreed to be together in this lifetime. And I didn't proceed, but I went ahead and incarnated first. What I want to point about your incarnations, by the way, is that, I've met some of my other siblings and so on thousands of years ago, and now they're here now. And we agree to be in each other's lives. Not all the time are we that close that Tio and I have. Some of them live in Illinois, some live in Canada, some live in other areas, and even former wives live in different areas. I hope I was a good guy. Anyway, getting back to all those things that we are all united here together to make a difference. And that's what's so important because we are the solution and we are the souls that can make a difference. So we have to get out of our head and realizing everyone has a mission and goal. And that is to change this planet into love. Sounds so airy fairy, but there's only two energies as I talk about, and that is love and anything that isn't of love. And I ran across one of the other motivational thoughts that True Source had shared with me. And I thought I'd like all of you because you had so many questions. And here's what I would like to share. Are you a slave of your fears or master of your life? Think about that, everyone.
Michael, I know the answer to that one, but it's a good thought to ponder. We have just one more quick question. Is that all right?
Sure, we'll go a little over time, but stay with us.
Okay. Krista was just wondering if when we cross over, do we have knowledge to everything and understand everything again?
Yes. Within our soul, there is a record we call a record of everything we've ever done from the moment, day one, until this. And that could span over hundreds or millions of years, by the way. Maybe even greater than that. Interesting, I'll just say one thing. I saw on YouTube where they found, looked like a rectangular lantern with holes in it, but it was very old. They found other parts of the country, in the world. And so he brought it to archaeologists and they wanted to take a look. And they tried carbon dating it. First thing they found, it was pure iron, just iron, no other ore in it, just iron ore, pure. Nothing's been ever made out of pure iron ore. And they thought it was over 1 million years old. That tells you something, doesn't it?
Wow.
Well, we'll talk about root races at another time. So I thought I'd share that with you. To you, I've got to drop something, but so I'm going to put myself, blank, whatever they call it. But I'd like to tell everybody, first of all, that every Tuesday evening I have a call, and I call it Soul Awakening. And it goes from 6:30 p.m. Pacific time to 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. And it's called Free Conference Call-In. So why don't you give them that number and I can add more information while you're talking.
Absolutely. I don't know where you went, Michael, but I hope you can still hear us.
Yes.
His call-in number is 202-926-1059. And Michael, can you give the access code?
And the access code is 125-446-pound.
I'll give that number again, okay? And people are saying thank you for all the information you're sharing, okay?
Tell them you're welcome.
Here's the number again, everyone. I also put everything in the Facebook comments, all right? So you'll be able to contact Michael there as well. So make sure you take down the numbers. But the Tuesday night call-in number is 202-926-1059. And the access code, Michael?
125446 #.
Perfect. We can hear you. We can't see you, but we can hear you. Okay, so carry on.
All right. So I invite all of you to share that, and then using that same telephone number and same area code and code, I have what I call messages that you can listen to. They're old messages, new messages, and if you so desire, and you're driving in your car, there are approximately 400 of them. And all you need to do is dial this number. Go ahead.
202-926-1059. And the code, Michael?
125446 #. One more time, please.
Absolutely. 202-926-1059. And the access code, Michael?
125446 #. I have fun doing that. Now, I'd like to share one other, and that is that on the second Saturday of every month, we have what we call the Mass Consciousness Healing. It's very dear to my heart because this planet needs a lot of love. And what you will do is you'll become a conduit for the true source of unconditional love to go through your body and to spread love all around this planet, everything that exists. Plus side is you're filled with this unconditional love. It's a wonderful experience, and you're making a difference. And that telephone number is?
It's the same number. I'll give it one more time. It's 202-926-1059. And the access code, Michael?
125446 #. I want to add one other thing, and I kind of missed it, and that is when you're listening to what I call the replays, the number just before that. It starts with number 3 and it goes to approximately 400. Well, when I originally did that, I forgot to label them. The true source said, nope. You want to read through 400 labels? Mm-mm. So let your intuition tell you number 3, number 147, number 299. You'll always say, yes, that's just what I wanted to hear. I don't know how that happened because I hear that all the time. So it's really, really important. Also, I want to point out that when we do the Mass Consciousness Healing, it starts at 9:55 a.m. Pacific time to 11:01. We chat for a few minutes. Should you join us a little later and there's silence, it means we're meditating. But my soul will hear you. I'll make sure you become a conduit and experience that wonderful, loving energy. Try to be in time, but if you're late, stuff happens. The other point I'd like to bring out is that on YouTube, you can see not only these 10-minute messages I was referring to, not all of them, but some of them, with a beautiful award-winning photograph done by our award-winning photographer. I think her name is Tiu something other, and she's got all kinds of awards, so thank you. And there'll be a little motivational saying on it, and then there'll be the message. Or you can watch our podcast. And all you have to go to YouTube, Dr. Michael B. Gross, all right, push the subscribe button and listen. It'll be a joy. Chiyu, did you want to say something?
Yes, we have to give them the recordings, the number for the recordings, Michael. Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, that's 434-300-4170. And the access code, Michael?
125446 #. One more time.
Absolutely. It's 434-300-4170. And the same access code.
125446 #. I know, did you put that in the chats? I'm sure you did.
I did.
Well, everyone, don't worry about wondering, did I get the right number? This beautiful soul, when she was looking down, she was busy posting all this information. So thank you very much. I'd like to share one other point with you before we conclude, and that I'd like all of you, when you go to sleep, just before that, look in the mirror. Don't whistle and go, "Ooh, hot babe, a handsome guy." But look in the mirror and say, "I love you. I love you. I love you." Say that. The reflection increases at 100 to 1,000-fold. And the last thought you have before you wake up in the morning is, you'll hear 60 to 90 times, "I love you. I love you. I love you." It will change your vibration and energy, because what the mind can conceive, the body will believe. And remember, nothing negative can live in the energy of love. Sickness, illness, remember that. With that saying, we go to phase 2.
Beautiful, Michael.
Oh, I forgot
Beautiful.
to say one more thing. Look at me. Got to get more organized. For all of us that are new, please, I give a 30-minute consultation. It's complimentary. You got the telephone number. Call me. And if I can't pick up because I'm working, then leave me a text and tell me where you live. Because I may call you at 7 o'clock at night, and it could be you're in Sweden and it'll be 4 o'clock in the morning or 3 in the morning, whatever the time difference is. So please. And those who are calling us from Canada and other countries, look at WhatsApp and that'll help you. We'll talk about that later. Anyway, I want to talk about this. And this is called A Beautiful Book by a Beautiful Soul called Tia Knapp. I think you might know her. It's all about a person who went through the wars, so to speak, and came out smelling like a rose. Very empowerment, very healing, very beautiful. It's a story about the phoenix rising from the ashes. He will tell you that you're not the only one that's gone through challenges, but she tells you she went through it, and she will help you get through it through this book, or if you call her. Read it. It's a wonderful.
And believe it or not, Michael is the one that wrote the foreword in that book. But I highly encourage that everybody starts here with a spiritual primer, because this is the go-to must-read book, the best book I have ever read. And if it wasn't for this book and this incredible gentleman virtually sitting next to me, the book he's holding wouldn't be in existence. Start here. I highly encourage it. And right now, the only way to get this, Michael, is to contact one of us, because it's not up on Amazon yet. It's here in our hands, and we would be more than happy to get a signed copy into your hands, okay? So definitely reach out. You can come and hit us on, message us on Facebook Messenger, or in the comments, contact us by email. We'll make sure you get one of these. It's a it's a must read. And he is the most incredible, life-changing soul I have ever met. So if you know anyone who's got challenges, if you know anyone who's struggling with whatever issue it might be, encourage them to join us here every Thursday night. We're here 7 o'clock Pacific Daylight Time. And definitely connect with Michael on YouTube, Dr. Michael B. Gross, okay? Because there's so many recordings that we've done over the last 2 years. I think we might be on 3 years almost, Michael. But definitely, I highly encourage you guys to don't give up the ship. We have ways to help you out, okay? So thank you, Michael, for your time. And do you have any final words?
My final words are just remember, you're not alone. You're never alone. You're so loved by the true source. You're so loved by your guides and angels and your guardian angel and your own personal angels. Yes, we have some. Just know that you're never alone. And remember, you are unlimited. Thank you, everyone. I love you all. And just remember, you're very special. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you, everyone. Invite your friends. We look forward
Take
to
care.
next week. Take care.